And that's why they pay me the big bucks.
This is the movie trailer for the holiday classic, The Holiday. This is Amanda, the master movie trailer maker in The Holiday, who takes a holiday away from making movie trailers to find herself, only to find herself thinking about her life as if she were in a movie trailer. That and Jude Law, but mainly just trailers. This video is not about the movie trailer holiday maker who can't catch a break, or the trailer about the holiday, nor is it about the inescapable charm of Jude Law.
Okay.
It's about a movie trailer I've never been able to shake off, one which started a war so wild, so fierce, it sent shockwaves across the internet for like an entire week. I'm of course talking about the Sonic the Hedgehog official movie trailer of 2019, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's slow down for a second and catch you all up to speed.
Meow?
I thought that was a really bad trailer.
Wow, that's gonna be the thumbnail. That's the perfect shot right there. Look at those teeth.
Oh, why'd you do this to me?
Now that I think about it, this is so bad.
Hello, Conan. How do you like my new look?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see. Look, don't get me wrong. I am so ready to see this movie.
Trailers, trailers, trailers. We all watch them, love them, pull them apart. Some of us live for them, others live in them. So for the sake of those who still think I'm chatting about the ones with wheels, let's talk specifics. According to the Film Studies Dictionary, a film trailer is an advertisement of a forthcoming attraction at a cinema, typically, though not necessarily, consisting of short segments of film edited together to give an audience a strong impression of a film's qualities. Film academic Lisa Kernan calls these movie qualities excellent. And while her and the dictionary's explanations are excellent at clarifying a trailer's content, their general scope can seem a little bit outdated. It's true, once upon a time, movie trailers were simply adverts designed to put bums in seats. Today, however, things are much different. The seats we sit in have changed to a more homely kind, and the way we watch trailers has moved on too. Since the advent of the interwebs, their online availability has increased their profile in marketing departments, and in culture in general, freeing them from that pre-film position in theatres and confirming their existence as unique short films in their own right. They're hype machines, not only made to show off great films, but are made to be great themselves. This is particularly true of big-budget franchise trailers, some of which have teasers of their own, countdowns before their release, and huge premieres at events like the Super Bowl, which is now known for trailer reveals just as much as it's known for testosterone-fueled fellas tossing around sweaty leather sacks.
You're drinking the wrong water.
This makes movie trailers special, unique forms of narrative film exhibition, wherein promotional discourse and narrative pleasures are conjoined. It's a beautiful, messy marriage of high expectations, short attention spans, and wet seats. A sort of cinematic gyroscope in which a host of contradictions are briefly sustained in balance, not the least of which is a quality for nostalgia for a film we haven't even seen yet. And when that hype train has left the station, there is little you can do to stop it. But for every good trailer, there's also a bad one, and in some cases that train can get derailed, which was the case for the Sonic trailer. An incident that saw long-term fans of the Blue Hedgehog watching their screens in shock as the video game hero darted around bearing physical features radically different from the beloved entertainment icon.
Sonic the Hedgehog's human teeth is a good reminder that there is truly no God. People went nuts. It got so bad they had to delay. This is all true. They had to delay the movie so they could redesign Sonic so as not to anger the fans. This is all true. Yeah.
Sure, the world has since moved on. Thousands of new trailers have come and gone between then and now, with some sparking their own controversies. Thanks to the pandemic, we've got to get used to delays and all the disappointment that brings.
Where's 007?
And of course, after a lengthy facelift, the Sonic film did eventually release, making the trailer but a footnote in what will probably be a long-running movie franchise. This is all thanks to consumer input. And that's a fact we cannot simply move on from. It proves that trailers are more than just ads to be passively watched, but are fluid forms of communication between filmmakers and fans. It also reveals a significant shift in the creative powers within Hollywood, further away from the big producers and closer towards the wider collective. But how did all this happen? And has the war truly been won? Or is this just one battle in a long war for creative control over beloved entertainment icons, with trailers being the front lines of this endless conflict?
Stand over there on the edge of your personal abyss and watch my machines do your job. Can you feel it, Stone?
Keith Johnson said that since the rapid expansion of the internet, the mass spectator has changed to an individual participant, from a passive viewer to an active controller, able to pause, fast forward and advance images frame by frame. This is just a small part of a wider cultural trend called participatory culture. In the case of the Sonic trailer, the audience interactions align with a specific kind of culture, the culture of fandom. Fans are passionate groups of active participants who readily appropriate corporate-generated imagery and embellish or transform it with personal artistic expressions. This could be through artwork, cosplay, or risky fan fictions you wouldn't want to show your nan. And of course, it's in the studio's best interest to accommodate this work, no matter how strange it might be, as the size and dedication of a fan base will affect the commercial success of a new franchise edition. Sonic wouldn't be getting a film in the first place if it weren't for his highly dedicated fans, a well-established group of gamers who have proven time and time again that they will engage with any new Sonic release and let their feelings be known.
Why do we need Sonic Adventure 3? Why do we need Sonic Heroes 2? Your fantasies can't ever be quenched, can they?
Fandoms can therefore make a studio's life a lot easier. They can provide free press by spreading hype through word of mouth. And as research suggests, word of mouth is significant in the build-up to the release of a movie, and the trailer plays a key role in stimulating these effects, as they are often the first pieces of content viewers can engage with. However, as we all know, not all went according to plan with the Sonic trailer. The fandom had a negative reaction to the live-action design, and the bad word of mouth that followed left the studio with little option but to backtrack on creative decisions. Senior media analyst at Comscore confirms this, saying that the fiasco demonstrates the power of social media and the value it can bring to filmmakers and studios in terms of providing direct feedback from the fans, who at the end of the day are the folks you ultimately want to please. So how did the fans communicate their feelings? Through memes. It all began on December 10th, 2018 with the public debut of the character in the teaser trailer. The video game mascot's unveiling on IGN.com revealed little of the hero's design. Nevertheless, the image sparked controversy as the silhouette gave enough information away to show that Sonic had been hitting the gym since his gaming days and had not been skipping out on leg days, spawning a stupendous array of swole leg boy memes. Memes are an art form, just try and change my mind. And like all art, we have to use fancy phrases to unpack their purpose, impact and meaning. I like the words of Schefrin, who explains that every artistic field is characterised by opposing forces that are struggling to either transform or conserve the existing system's power to shape the larger social order. It sounds ridiculous, but the leg memes, much like the fandom they belong to, disrupt traditional structures of power within the Hollywood system by opposing the ideas of ownership, authorship, and creative control. Where studios are concerned, creative control is ultimately a legal matter. The status of any Hollywood franchise or brand is secured by legal recognition as an intellectual property. For example, animated characters such as Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny, licensed across multiple products, represent more secure forms of image property for studios who no longer own stars the way they used to in the golden days of Hollywood. And although Sonic the Hedgehog isn't owned by a film studio, but by Sega, the same attitude to copyright applies when they're both in partnership. Despite all this legal form of ownership, if an intellectual property has a cultural life, the meaning of a brand is not simply determined by those who coordinate its media, but it's also forged in the cultural instances where images are interpreted by audiences and taken up by fan groups in potentially unforeseen ways. This is certainly the case with the fan reactions to Sonic. With internet memes, there exists no intellectual property. They can be born, replicated, transmitted, transformed, and forwarded with no concern for rights management, monetization, citation, or licensing. The only concern among meme creators is whether these jokes are funny and authentic. Therefore, when Paramount Studios chose to backtrack on the Sonic physical features, they gave this form of communication a higher level of authority than the traditional copyright law in which Hollywood power is built. And all this was sparked from a trailer which arrived in the later stage of the movie's life cycle, compared to, say, the concept phase where the initial design would have come to life. Changing computer animated character designs late in production is a victory for consumers, but has ramifications for a VFX industry already under pressure. Unfortunately, the people who struggled were not the ones calling the shots at the top, but the animation teams responsible for bringing Sonic to life. A character supervisor at Ilion Animation offered some insight into this business during an interview. They had worked on Paddington Bear, whose design philosophies were quite similar to the Blue Hedgehog. He said what we saw in the first Sonic trailer likely represented 6 to 9 months of animation work, which had to be thrown out the window. The issue wasn't getting him out the movie, as for the most part the beefy-legged hedgehog likely represented about 5% of his entire appearance in the film. No, the problem was the fact that Sonic's visual effects designers had to be overworked when they went back to the drawing board. With margins so thin, timelines so tight, and quality benchmarks so high, these artists are often under considerable pressure. Long hours and overtime are standard, especially when a release date looms and shots still need tinkering. And these insights are particularly interesting because although the animation supervisor had no involvement in the Sonic film, the events matched his experience when working on Paddington. Paddington's fandom is vastly different to Sonic's, but when the Bear's live-action design was first released, there was a massive backlash and response, which was channeled through the creepy Paddington meme. In this instance, the studio didn't change their creative vision and were eventually rewarded upon the feature's release. They kept their creative control, and the film and its sequel were considered massive successes, with the latter becoming the best reviewed film ever on social media at the time. This leaves the benefits of participatory fandom at a bit of a crossroad. In a Guardian article about the nature of online trailers, they said that good trailers can also be bad trailers when they unjustly raise audience expectations, and bad trailers are actually good trailers when they play well online. So it's no wonder that we are both more entertained and more confused than ever. There's no such thing as bad press, and although we will never really know what it would have been like if Sonic's design was great from the start, there's every chance that the film benefited more from the negative attention that surrounded it. One thing is for certain, franchise trailers will continue to grow in relevance thanks to the continued input from consumers, just as long as there's passionate people online and the studios willing to change course when asked. For fandoms have now been validated in the eyes of Hollywood, and now that power has been felt, is there any going back?